Ummi, mummy. This sound, is one of the first sounds that babies will say. I know that from my own children. It's one of the easiest sounds that we can make. One of the earliest sounds you might even hear. And we hear it when we say mama or ummi or umma in many, many languages, because that might be the first person that a baby sees or spends so much of their time with when they're making those sounds. And the Om symbol I'm holding up here is a very special sound within Hinduism. I talked to you before about how for Hindus, looking at the whole of the universe, the whole of everything that has or ever will or ever has existed or is existing now, very difficult for our minds to possibly understand. A force or a power, a supreme being that is greater and bigger than me and everything I can possibly think about. So how can my mind possibly understand that? Well, actually, it's a very simple sound in Om that helps Hindus think about this incredibly huge idea. And for Hindus, the source or the power that's behind the whole entire universe is called Brahman, okay? And this source and this power is very hard for our minds to understand completely. So Hindus can look to gods and goddesses who show aspects of, or parts of, or qualities of the overall source and power that my mind can't understand. My mind can understand gods and goddesses who may have certain stories, certain qualities, certain things that they do, certain things that help me think of a little bit of the overall picture of Brahman that I know I'm never going to understand fully. A little bit like the story of the blind man and the elephant we keep coming back to, where each blind man or woman could feel a part of the truth, a part of the elephant, but didn't know it in its totality. Different parts showed different things in what they could understand. And it's the same for us as humans, Hindus believe. But does that mean that Hindus are monotheistic, polytheistic? It really depends on the person you speak to. Some Hindus have said to me they believe in one God, one power, one source. Brahman is the source and the power and the reason for everything, everything. Similar to how Muslims might talk about God, Christians and Jews may talk about God being the source and the power behind everything. So they might say to themselves, yeah, I am a monotheist. I believe in one power that I can know through the other gods and goddesses. Other Hindus might say, no, I'm polytheistic. I believe in many gods. Each of these gods and goddesses have part of the divine, have part of Brahman within them, and I worship them as a way to know Brahman in totality, knowing I'll never know it fully, but I'm using them to try and see the different parts. So it really depends on the Hindu you speak to. Because if you remember, the quote we learned last lesson was there's many paths up the mountain, but they all lead to the same summit, some of you were saying. So many Hindus may worship in different ways. Different families might have different gods that they look to see the story of, see through their stories and understanding of Brahman. Different festivals remember different gods and goddesses. And remember, this is an ancient religion spanning thousands of years, and it's developed in different ways, and you've got lots of different types of Hindus. But what they all believe in is there is one power and one source behind the entire universe, which is Brahman, and summarized in that simple sound of Om.